World War II was a defining moment in global history, and the United States played a pivotal role in the Allied victory. Through carefully planned and executed operations, America turned the tide in key theaters of war. In this episode of Beyond Borders, we explore 5 major operations led by the United States during World War II that reshaped the course of history. Perhaps the most famous American operation of World War II, Operation Overlord, was the code name for the D-Day invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944. This massive assault involved over 156,000 Allied troops storming 5 key beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. The operation was the culmination of years of planning by the Allies. Deception operations, such as Operation Fortitude, were conducted to mislead the Germans about the actual invasion site, convincing them that the attack would occur at Pas-de-Calais instead of Normandy. Extensive air and naval bombardments preceded the landings to weaken German defenses. The invasion began in the early hours of June 6th, with thousands of paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines to disrupt German reinforcements. The main amphibious assault followed, with American forces landing at Utah and Omaha beaches, while British and Canadian troops secured Gold, Juno, and Sword. Omaha Beach proved particularly challenging due to strong German fortifications, resulting in heavy casualties. Despite the difficulties, the Allies established a critical beachhead by the end of the day. Over the next few weeks, reinforcements poured in, and the Allies launched a successful breakout from Normandy, liberating Paris by August 1944. Operation Overlord was a turning point in the war, leading to the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany. In November 1942, the Allies launched Operation Torch, the first major American operation in the European theater. Targeting Vichy French-controlled territories in North Africa, this campaign aimed to secure Mediterranean shipping lanes and prepare for an eventual invasion of southern Europe. By late 1942, the Axis powers had established strongholds in North Africa, threatening Allied control of the Mediterranean. Operation Torch was conceived to relieve pressure on the Eastern Front, where the Soviet Union was bearing the brunt of the war, and to establish a second front in Europe. The operation began on November 8, 1942, with simultaneous landings in 3 key locations: Casablanca in Morocco, and Oran and Algiers in Algeria. American and British forces faced initial resistance from Vichy French troops, but through negotiations and superior firepower, they quickly secured the landing zones. The Allies then advanced eastward to link up with British forces fighting the Afrika Korps under Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. Operation Torch was a success, marking the first significant collaboration between American and British forces in a major campaign. The operation secured vital supply routes in the Mediterranean and set the stage for the Allied invasion of Italy. It also bolstered Allied morale and demonstrated the effectiveness of joint military planning. By May 1943, the Axis forces in North Africa had surrendered, paving the way for further Allied victories in Europe. Operation Husky, launched in July 1943, was the Allied invasion of Sicily and a critical step toward liberating Italy from Axis control. Led by General George S. Patton and British General Bernard Montgomery, the operation saw American and British forces working together to secure the island. The operation was planned to weaken Axis control in the Mediterranean and open the pathway to the Italian mainland. Sicily's strategic location made it a key target for disrupting Axis supply lines and military movements. The invasion began with a massive airborne assault as thousands of paratroopers landed behind enemy lines to secure key positions. This was followed by a large-scale amphibious landing involving over 150,000 troops. The Allies faced strong resistance from German and Italian forces, but through coordinated efforts and superior air and naval support, they steadily advanced across the island. General Patton's forces famously captured Palermo, while Montgomery's troops pushed toward Messina. The success of Operation Husky resulted in the collapse of Mussolini's government and Italy's eventual surrender. It marked a significant shift in the war, forcing Germany to divert resources to defend southern Europe. The invasion demonstrated the effectiveness of joint Allied operations and set the stage for the grueling Italian campaign. In the Pacific Theater, Operation Cartwheel was a series of coordinated attacks from June 1943 to early 1944. The goal was to neutralize the Japanese stronghold of Rabaul and establish Allied dominance in the region. Rabaul, located on New Britain Island, was a heavily fortified Japanese base and a critical hub for their operations in the Pacific. To weaken Japan's grip on the region, the Allies devised Operation Cartwheel as part of their broader island-hopping strategy. This plan aimed to bypass heavily defended islands and isolate Rabaul by capturing nearby strategic locations. Under the leadership of General Douglas MacArthur and Admiral Chester Nimitz, the operation involved land, sea, and air assaults. Allied forces captured key islands such as Bougainville, New Georgia, and the Admiralty Islands. These victories cut off Japanese supply lines and rendered Rabaul ineffective as a base without the need for a direct assault. Operation Cartwheel significantly weakened Japan's ability to project power in the Pacific and bolstered Allied momentum. By neutralizing Rabaul, the Allies paved the way for further advances toward the Philippines and Japan. This strategy showcased the effectiveness of coordinated operations across multiple branches of the military. The final major operation before the planned invasion of Japan, Operation Iceberg, was the code name for the Battle of Okinawa in April 1945. This grueling campaign lasted over 82 days and was one of the bloodiest battles of the Pacific War. Okinawa was strategically critical, as it was the last major island before reaching Japan's mainland. Its capture would provide the Allies with a vital staging area for the planned invasion of Japan, codenamed Operation Downfall. Japanese forces, aware of the island's importance, fortified it heavily and prepared for a desperate defense. The operation began with a massive naval bombardment, followed by amphibious landings on April 1, 1945. Over 180,000 Allied troops, primarily American, faced fierce resistance from 130,000 Japanese soldiers. The battle was marked by brutal close-quarters combat, kamikaze attacks targeting Allied ships, and significant civilian casualties as the Japanese used local populations in their defensive efforts. The Allies ultimately secured Okinawa, but at a tremendous cost. Over 12,000 American troops were killed, with an additional 36,000 wounded. Japanese losses were staggering, with over 100,000 soldiers killed and tens of thousands of civilians dead. The ferocity of the battle influenced the Allies' decision to use atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as an invasion of Japan's mainland was projected to result in even higher casualties. Operation Iceberg underscored the devastating human cost of war and the determination of both sides to achieve victory. As we've explored these pivotal operations, it becomes clear that each played a vital role in shaping the outcome of World War II. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of the Pacific, the courage and sacrifice of countless individuals helped turn the tide against tyranny and secure a hard-fought victory for the Allies. While these operations were marked by strategy and innovation, they also serve as a reminder of the immense cost of war and the resilience of those who fought for freedom. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Beyond Borders for more stories of conflict, courage, and the events that shaped our world. Together, let's uncover the past and connect with the stories that continue to inspire us. See you in the next episode.